welcome to my channel. My name is Mitzi, aka the Loopy Scientist. In today's video, we're going to be talking a little bit about what my crochet goals were in 2025, whether or not I achieved them, and also what I'm looking forward to in 2026. I'm not setting super big goals for myself, but I do want to talk a little bit about kind of what my intentions are with this channel, with crochet, and with my personal life in 2026. So let's go ahead and jump right in. I'm not gonna lie, 2025 was a pretty difficult year for me.
That's an understatement.
But I did achieve a lot in 2025, so I still want to acknowledge those things and also just kind of talk through some of my goals and whether or not I feel like they were actually accomplished or not. So on my Instagram, I posted some goals, and one of them was to participate in a market. I haven't actually filmed a recap on that yet, and I have been meaning to sit down and actually do that, which we'll get into whenever I talk about my 2026 goals. But I did actually participate in the market. It was on December 6th of 25. It was a holiday market at a local high school, and I really enjoyed the experience overall, but I'll film a video kind of breaking down that entire process and how I felt about it and what I learned from that process. I think we can check off participate in the market. I think that that is a goal that was accomplished, so I'm happy with that. My second goal for 25 was to release one crochet pattern, and I have been meaning to actually just crochet while I do this, and I haven't been doing that, so let me get started on that. So I have a crochet project here just because I feel like it gives us something to see while I'm making this. But anyways, my second goal for 2025 was to release one crochet pattern. Now, I definitely did not do that. I actually have a crochet pattern in mind right now as a free pattern, and I want to take you guys along with me while I write that pattern. I don't want to say what it is yet, but I do have a pretty fun idea, and it's kind of niche. If you're Hispanic, you will probably understand this pattern, but if you're not, well, actually, no, that's not true. If you're Mexican, you will probably understand this pattern, but inspiration just kind of struck me one day and kind of punched me in the face, and I was like, I need to make this crochet pattern. So I haven't actually started writing it yet, but I have verbalized that that's what I want to do, and I'm not putting a ton of pressure on myself. Oop, messed up. I'm not putting a ton of pressure on myself to accomplish that within a certain time frame, but I do want to do it at some point, hopefully within these next few months. But anyways, so I don't think we can check off release one crochet pattern, but I think it is, I will say, overdue and in progress. My third goal was to start taking commissions, and I kind of went back and forth as to whether or not I accomplished this or not. Basically what I did was I actually opened up the form for custom orders to start taking commissions towards the end of last year, but I haven't actually received any custom orders from that form. However, at my market, whenever I was there, I actually was making a Demogorgon for that market and was just kind of finishing it up during the market, and someone came up and bought it. But then someone else came up, this little girl who was the daughter of one of the vendors there. She came up and she asked me if I still had that Demogorgon that I was working on and if I had finished it. And I told her that I unfortunately had sold it. Like I literally finished it and sold it as I was weaving in the ends, basically. And so she ran off, and then her mom came back and basically told me, like, I don't care when you finish it, but can I just pay you to make my daughter a Demogorgon and we can just work out delivery later? So she actually paid me for the Demogorgon, and I was actually able to finish it during the market, and I hand delivered it to that little girl, and she was so happy. This probably should all be in a different video, but anyways, long story short, I would call that a commission, I would say, because I wasn't going to make that Demogorgon unless someone asked. I brought the yarn to make the Demogorgon at the market, but it's not like I was really thinking, let me go ahead and make it and finish it by the end of the market. So I would take that as a win, I think. BRB.
One moment.
I'm back. Sorry. I was making something for dinner and it was ready. So my next goal was to start a YouTube channel, and I would say that I accomplished that because you are watching this on YouTube right now. So I did start it. My next goal on Instagram was to learn a new craft. Now, also this video isn't up, but I did try to learn how to knit at some point throughout 2025. And I did film an entire YouTube video about it. And spoiler alert, I failed. But I think I learned something throughout the process. So I would say that this is a win. And I learned a new craft. Did I learn it well? No.
But I did learn it.
And my last goal, crochet-wise, in 2025 was inspired by Parks and Rec blanket. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a character in Parks and Rec. Her name's Ann Perkins. She has a crocheted blanket kind of draped along the back of her couch in that show. And I have been wanting to recreate that blanket for the longest time. I have changed a couple of things about it, mostly the colors, because although I kept the same colors, I kind of altered the colors to fit my vibe a little bit more. And as I'm talking about it, I'm actually working on the blanket right now. So I did not accomplish that goal. I did not finish it. I think I started it in 2025, but I definitely didn't finish it in 2025. I am not even halfway done. I don't know. I would count that as a fail, but that's okay, because I'm working on it now. It's just a whip going into 2026, right?
Oh, clown.
Now for my personal goals in 25, one of my first goals was to wake up earlier. I feel like I have that as kind of a resolution every single year. And I don't think that worked out super well for me last year. I want to be a morning person so bad, but I am just not. I'm not good at waking up early. I'm good at being up early. I don't know if that makes any sense, but basically once I'm up, I will be productive in the morning, but I suck at getting out of bed in the morning. So I don't think I accomplished that goal super well. I will say though that for part of the year, I was still working in research, and some of that research actually required me to be in the lab basically in the middle of the night. Or I had some time points that were very early in the morning. Like I think I had to get up sometimes at like 2 a.m., sometimes at like 4 a.m. To be in the lab by, I don't know, 3 a.m., 5 a.m., things like that. Whenever I had a specific thing to do, I would wake up early and I would be productive early, but I just kind of suck at getting out of bed unless I have a reason to. So it's something that I'm working on, but I will say that I did not accomplish that goal. My other personal goal last year was to read 30 books. I did not accomplish that goal. I read 21 books last year, which I think is still a pretty good number considering what happened last year. And I read 11 of those books from January through April. But as some of you may know, or not know, I'm not sure. I think I've been more vocal about this, or I've been very vocal about this on Instagram. Haven't been so vocal about it on YouTube. But we lost a family member last year, and also I lost my dog last year, who is now actually the mascot of this brand. If you see my new logo, that's my dog Jasper. He died in May of last year, and I miss him very much. But he was 16 years old, and he lived a really great life. Yeah, he passed away in May of last year, and I was grieving for a lot of the year after I lost him, so I ended up not reading a ton of books. I did kind of get into audiobooks a little bit towards the end of the year whenever I felt like I could actually listen to them again. And so I did end up reading 21 books last year. And my favorite book of last year, I would say, was The Things We Cannot Say. It is a historical fiction. And it's devastating, but it's also so good. So if you're into historical fictions and have the emotional capacity to read a book that might destroy you emotionally, I would say that that's a good place to start, because I love that book. I actually read that, I think, in February. So before I was a bit too fragile to actually read that book. And it was so good. My two favorite genres are either historical fictions or thrillers / horror books. My second favorite book last year was a book called The Last House on Needless Street. I would consider this more of a thriller than anything. And I don't want to give anything away, but it's not what I was expecting it to be in thrillers. And typically with thrillers, like, I could kind of guess where they're going, but I couldn't really guess on this one. So I really enjoyed that book for that reason. I don't have any scissors, so I don't think I can do this. So those were all of my goals for 2025. And I think out of all of them, I accomplished for sure 2 of them. Some of them were kind of, I guess, a little bit more up for interpretation, and some of them I just didn't accomplish. I am still really proud of the stuff that I did accomplish last year. And this wasn't a goal of mine because I knew that I was going to do it. But I also finished my PhD in 2025, and I started a new job, and I started this crochet business, and I did things that were a bit out of my comfort zone. Okay, so moving on to 2026 and what I want to accomplish in this year. And I actually saw a video very recently by Hey, It's Mel B. So Mel actually did she made some punch cards for the year, and I love that idea. So maybe we'll do that in an upcoming video where we kind of just make some punch cards with a couple of these goals in there, because I feel like it's a bit of a dopamine boost, and it doesn't, because I don't want to say anything crazy like I want to reach 5,000 subscribers on YouTube or something like that, because realistically that's not going to happen. But if I can make a goal and just do it in small chunks, I think that that would be a much better way of doing it. So I really liked her punch card idea. I'll link her video down below, and maybe we can do it in a future video. My intentions that I wrote down for 2026 when this year started was, 1, to just grow my YouTube channel. It is a very vague goal, but to be able to accomplish that, I need to start being more consistent on here. I think we all can agree that I'm not the most consistent creator in the entire universe.
You're damn right.
I would like to start posting bi-weekly videos if at all possible. So I'm thinking, starting with this video, I'll start posting regular videos bi-weekly. And I actually have a ton of videos, not a ton. I have like 4 or 5 videos that I have recorded. I just haven't edited them yet. And so I want to post those videos too, but I feel like they'll be super out of order. And that's kind of what's stopping me, because I'm kind of like, I don't think anyone even really cares anymore. But I filmed the videos and I feel like I should probably post them. So I'm thinking that I'm going to try to post those videos maybe on an off week. So try to post like new content every other week. And then, I don't know, the 3rd week of the month or something like that, just post, or like one of the off weeks. So if I post a video this week, then maybe in 2 weeks I'll post another video that's like fresh content that is newly recorded. And then the week after that, between that and the next video, I'll post like an older video. I don't know. I haven't fully decided how I want to do it yet, because half of me is like, I don't think people care anymore what I did in a vlog in July of last year. But the other half of me is like, well, I still recorded all of that content, so I should probably just go ahead and post it. And I do actually have 2 videos edited right now that I just haven't posted, because I'm like, these were filmed so long ago, I don't know what to do, so maybe I should just start fresh. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And if you hate that idea, let me know. But if you like that idea and will still support me, please also let me know, I guess. My second goal is to grow my social media presence in general. So I'm, again, going to try to be more consistent on there as well. And I do post a little bit more now than I did kind of whenever I was in the depths of grief in 2025. But I'm still not super consistent about it, mostly because I find it really hard to balance YouTube content with things like Instagram content. So if y'all have any tips on how I can kind of accomplish both, kill two birds with one stone, that would be super appreciated. And my third goal is to participate in more markets, and I wrote on there quarterly ? Ideally, I would do quarterly markets because then I could do 4 markets this year, and I think that that would be a good goal. I really enjoyed the market that I did in December, and I would like to do more markets. I just need to look for them, and things don't seem to really start here until the spring anyways. So maybe something in like March or April, and then maybe one in the summer. I don't know if I could stand the heat in the summer, so I don't know how that's going to work out. And then one in the fall and one in the winter again. I don't know. But I would like to just participate in more markets generally. They don't even have to be big markets, maybe even just like pop-up sales and things like that. That would be nice. So I just want to kind of grow this business more throughout this year. Now that I have a more consistent work schedule and, you know, I can dedicate a little bit more time to crochet. My third goal is to, or is that my fourth goal? I think it's my fourth goal. My fourth goal is to release a crochet pattern. And like we talked about before, I have one in the works, and that would be a free pattern. I'm only giving myself the goal of releasing 1 crochet pattern. And that is the one that I'm thinking of right now. But if I release more, great. If I don't, that's okay too. I feel like I kind of get in my head about it. So if y'all have any tips on how to start writing crochet patterns and become more confident on that aspect of it, please let me know. And then my final crochet goal is to finish this dang Parks and Rec blanket. I have been working on this thing for so long, and I definitely fell off whenever I was kind of super sad last year. So I just want to work on it, and I want to finish it. And that's something that we'll work on together while we are growing this YouTube channel. And personal goals for 2026, I want to, once again, start waking up earlier. That's always a resolution for me. We'll see how it goes. I feel like I just need to do it, but I don't know. It's hard. My second goal is to start journaling. I noticed whenever I was writing these things down, I really enjoyed that, and I like getting my stuff down on paper. So I want to start journaling this year and, you know, just kind of keeping my thoughts and putting down my thoughts and putting them down and then just getting them on the paper, and that kind of gets them out of me and gets me out of my head a little bit. And then another thing is I want to be intentional with my friendships. I was really bad about friendships whenever I was in grad school because I was so busy all the time. And then whenever I was, you know, grieving last year, it was a little bit harder as well. Even though I technically had more time, I just didn't really want to be around people as much last year. So I want to be more intentional with my friendships this year, and I don't know, just see my friends more often, just reach out to them and stuff as well. And then in my other category, I've got set up my office. I have the office that I'm in right now is actually the office that I use for my job, and it's pretty plain right now. I just moved into it within the past few months whenever I started this job, and I really want to make it look like there's a spot in Baldur's Gate called the Cloister of Somber Embrace. If you know what that is, you know what it is, but I don't want to give away any spoilers. But in Baldur's Gate 3, there's this area there, and I really like the vibes in there. I'll post some pictures of that on the screen. And I want my office to look like that, so I want to start working towards that as well. And then just getting some stuff from thrift stores and start decorating in that way, and then paint this room at some point as well. And I think it'll be a nice little cozy office because this is where I spend most of my time anyways, and I want it to reflect that vision. My other goal is to finished setting up my craft room. I recently moved my like vanity stuff out of that room, and I want that space to also be like nice, big, and bright in there. I want it to be colorful, and I want it to reflect my personality a little bit more because I feel like you guys don't get to see that as much. So I want to get that set up as well, and that's another goal that I have for this year. And then my third goal for myself is to make one wearable for myself. I made a hexagon cardigan, I think in 2024. Maybe I finished it in 25, but I want to make another wearable for myself, whether that's a shirt or maybe a sweater or another cardigan, something like that. I just want to make something for myself. If y'all have any ideas of something that I could make, please let me know. I also have a gift card to a local yarn store that I need to use up, so I think that that would be a good project to use that gift card for. So I just need to start looking at yarns and looking at what I want to do for that as well. So that completes this video. In the comments below, let me know if you think that you accomplished your 2025 goals are and what one of your intentions for 2026 is. With that, that's the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Bye, friends.